Hey, we're gonna be cooking up some beekeeping today. Yep, that's right. I'm in the kitchen. This is where we're gonna start, and we're gonna head out to the beehive. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hanson. Gotta do some additional beekeeping because we just added some new bees to the hives yesterday. So now I'm gonna feed them. I made some new entrance reducers to accommodate these new entrance feeders. So I'm going to fill these entrance feeders and we're going to get them in place with the new entrance reducers. And then we're also going to go ahead and take all the empty buses out and make sure the queens have been released from their queen cages. And then we're going to do an oxalic acid treatment to get rid of all the Varoa mites that may have come in on the bees. So we're going to start out the whole colony, all 3 colonies, or 4 colonies, with as healthy as possible going into spring. So I'm starting off with a tablespoon of vinegar for each jar. The vinegar will keep algae and other growth from happening because this is going to be exposed to the sun. You know what happens to water products when they're exposed to the sun? Yeah, they get algae and all kinds of gross stuff growing into them. So it's a tablespoon of vinegar, plus vinegar is good for the gut. Then I'm going to fill the jars half full of just granulated sugar, nothing special. In the winter months, there's a different type of sugar you feed them, but we're going 50-50 with the sugar products. And now we'll just add warm water to each jar. Nothing special about these jars, they're just curved smallmouth canning jars. And the entrance feeders I purchased at my local bee supplier. And these are the entrance feeders. Okay, now I'm gonna tote these out to the apiary and get these ready, and then I have to suit up. We got a nice sunny day to do this. The wind is calm, of course no rain, and it's about 70 degrees out right now. No, it's 68, almost 70 degrees out right now. So the bees are all out and flying. They're doing their cleansing flight. Some of them are going out and foraging, which is good for me because then most of the bees are out and away from the hive, I could work with the hives much easier because there's a reduced population to deal with in each hive. So I've got a feeder set up over here temporarily so the bees can come out from all the hives and feed right there, because I'm not sure, I think they drank all their syrup. So, and like I said earlier, we're going to put new hive reducers. I just made some new hive reducers. I cut them to length so they're narrower than the hive opening, but it makes accommodation for that entrance feeder. You'll see when I get it installed. And there's a little entrance that the bees can easily defend their hive from hive robbers and other pests that like to attack beehives. So let me get suited up. We'll pull that off, the lid's off, and we're gonna make sure, I'm gonna take all the buses out and then make sure they're empty and remove the cans, and then I'm also going to make sure that the queens are removed from the cages. Okay, I'm geared up. I got my sugar water to spray them with, and I use this instead of smoke. This just gets them busy cleaning each other off with sugar syrup. So I'm going to go in here first and check my queen and remove anything that I don't need in there. Okay, this bus is empty. They've all flown out of it. And the can still is about a third of the way full. Okay. That one is set up. And I just got to make sure the queen is out. Okay, the queen is in there, and I poked a hole in the candy plug, and now they're gonna try to get her out of there. Let's see. Come on, ladies. There we go. Okay, now this one is set up. Notice I removed that empty deep. There was no frames in it. This particular feature is a top entrance for the bees. I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of the hives up this way, and maybe next week or in 2 weeks I'll add that deep again with frames in it after these bees get these frames filled up. So I'll grow my beehives really quickly. Okay, we got this one. Okay, I got my queen cage right here. I've got to get that and get her released. See, here is the cap I've got to remove. And there's the sugar. And I've got to poke a hole in that to release that little lady. There you go, Your Royal Majesty. Okay, last queen to get released. Come on, honey. Your Royal Highness. There we go. That is a beautiful sight. And there's the queen cage right there. And she's got her attendants already attending her. And some of them are working on the candy plug now. She'll be out probably in a couple of hours and then ready to lay eggs, because I got some pulled out comb in these frames here. So she's ready to go, and then they're ready to get busy. Okay, ladies. Okay, I got one more reducer and feeder to put in. Okay, it looks like I'm all dressed up and ready to go to town, right? In these days, yeah. But I have this respirator, my goggles, and my gloves for handling this oxalic acid. This oxalic acid is really caustic, so you really want to be careful and not get your skin, to get this in contact with your skin or your eyes, or even breathing it. So oxalic acid is natural. We're going to pour some on there, and we're going to put it underneath and let it fumigate. Well, that's doing that. I'm just gonna kick back and relax. It takes about 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes per hive for the fumigation. So I'm gonna be out here for another 45 minutes. You can see the smoke rising up from the oxalic acid fumigating. So each hive got fumigated, and we're getting rid of the Varoa mite and starting off the spring hopefully with 0 Varoa mite population. But look at this bee population. Isn't that wonderful? So to fumigate, you need a fumigator. It's a little stick with a pad on it, and it heats up. You got two different models. One plugs in 110, and the other one, this 12 volt, plugs into a battery. Since I had this power booster that gives me an inverter from 12 volt to 110. I bought the cheaper model, which was 120, and that 120 is cheaper. 12 volt, more expensive. So I'll leave a link down below for an Amazon on where to buy that atomizer, fumigator, and the oxalic acid. And maybe I'll also provide a link for the goggles. These goggles are my laboratory goggles that I used when I was in college. And then also the respirator. I'll leave a link for all 4 of those down below, so you guys can, who are beekeepers, can do your beekeeping appropriately and you have the supplies to do it with. Those bees have been homed there. I believe I put them in yesterday, and I needed to get them, get the queen released and get them fumigated to treat them for the mites, because I don't want to start the colony off with mites, because the mites can kill a whole colony. And these were expensive, so now I've bought 4 of these packages. All my previous bees were free. They were, ooh, it's hot. They were swarms and extractions from various extractions that we did from all over the valley. So I got free bees, but I had an idiot neighbor, and I use that term loosely, who had an illegal marijuana grow for some years, and he found out he was spraying with all kinds of illegal banned pesticides, and it literally kept killing my bees. So that's part of the reason why I wasn't able to keep bees year-round from year to year. But now, 2 years ago, this idiot went to prison. And now I was finally successful. Last year, early spring, I purchased 1 package of bees. I wanted to try it out. It was so successful, I decided this year to add 3 more. And these are the Saskatchewan's bees. Yeah, he killed every pollinator in the area, and it's taken 2 years for the area to recover from that. It was bad. So hopefully, with good beekeeping skills and learning more as I go along, these hives I'll be able to split and create another hive, another couple of hives, and then add them down at Acorn Acres by growing the apiary. I'd like to put 4 hives down at Acorn Acres. Yeah, there's room for them down there. So that's it here. That's beekeeping. We're still fumigating the red one. Yeah, it's still smoking a little bit. I'm your host, Jerry Hanson. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I want to thank you guys for sharing this adventure with me on beekeeping, on feeding the bees, creating a smaller entrance reducer to accommodate the entrance feeder, and get these girls rehomed and get the queen cage able for the queen to be able to get out and start laying eggs. Please stay tuned to more videos. You can do that by subscribing, then clicking that bell icon. That'll alert you to new videos as I upload them. Also, clicking that share button really helps out our videos a lot. It helps the channel out a lot. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. We'll see you guys in the next adventure. Bye-bye. Put those syrup cans there so the bees can clean those up. I just realized I didn't have to spray them with a sugar water. I used a smoker, and I didn't get stung at all. Cool. Successful day.